G'day fellas and welcome back to CB1, the story of Deontay Rose. I appreciate you guys' patience. It has been a long time since the last episode came out. Got a very good friend of mine by the name of Flemlo Raps who's going to be reading off the storyline for this. I'm almost certain that you guys have heard of him before. Does what happened to his last chance you news, everything and anything that you would want to know is over on that channel, so make sure you go check it out. What am I saying? I guarantee you guys are subbed. Without further ado fellas, welcome back.
The year is 2021. We embark on a new season. Three players who created a brotherhood from early in their respective careers have now learned firsthand that the NFL is a business and the loyalty here can be bought and sold. Now, being the first overall pick in the draft, as you might imagine, comes with certain expectations. The Miami Dolphins, with Ryan Fitzpatrick moving on and Josh Rosen facing an unfavorable scenario, they've been put in a position where they have to take a huge chance on Allen Jackson. We're talking a guy who came in with high hopes but would go on to be dominated by a third-round cornerback. Prior to that happening, no one would have even mentioned them in the same breath. In Minnesota, things weren't much better. With the third pick in the 2020 draft, a team who a year prior saw a solid chance at a Super Bowl was now quickly moving towards another rebuilding phase. And with the roster heavy at the receiver position, the team was looking to maybe move around some of those assets and straighten up some other spots on the squad. The trade of Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills caught a lot of people off guard, but the front office figured out a way to kill several birds with one stone. First off, the public would recognize that the team is tanking. This would in turn take pressure off of still developing quarterback Allen Jackson. This would give him a little bit of time to develop and obviously also get Miami a better draft pick to get some guys in here to help out. But the fans really wasn't feeling that. They wanted to win now. So the Dolphins front office sought a happy medium. They took a gamble and traded backup quarterback Josh Rosen to the Vikings, as well as a second-round pick for an extremely frustrated Jevin Tate. At least this gave the fans something to cheer for. A player who never gotten any real opportunity in Minnesota was now pairing up with former college teammate who saw incredible success in a Heisman winning season. That offseason, Jevin and Deontay were in touch almost daily. Friends who once shared the same dream now shared the same expectation. It was similar to the college days, but now it was on a much larger scale. Meanwhile, Deontay Rose was close to finalizing a 4-year deal that saw the Defensive Player of the Year take home $10 million guaranteed for the Super Bowl winning Seattle Seahawks. But before the deal could ever get finalized, the most unexpected news broke. A player who was once just fighting for playing time is now fighting for his career. At 11:32 in Miami, Florida, NFL stars Jevin Tate and Deontay Rose were involved in a car accident. The offender, who was intoxicated, swerved into oncoming traffic. Jevin, attempting to avoid the accident altogether, swerves left. But still, his 2018 Porsche was completely totaled with a direct collision to the front right wheel. Thankfully, both cars were traveling at relatively low speeds, and while this did help to minimize damage, Deontay was still rushed to the hospital. How bad was it? Broken ankle, broken leg, torn meniscus. Fearing Deontay would never return to form, Seattle's offer was now that of a roster-filling veteran with the expectation that he'd be able to play in the preseason. The weeks leading up to the start of the NFL, a time where generally an athlete should be practicing and bettering himself, Deontay was struggling to regain even a sliver of his former ability. In preseason week 3, he was finally jogging around a little bit, 3-cone shuttles, but fighting his body every step of the way. Not being able to fulfill the conditions, the once lucrative offer that Seattle put on the table was now removed. Just like that, Deontay had gone from franchise cornerstone to potential free agent. Jevin took it hard. He was the one driving after all. So every day went to the front office pretty much begging them to bring in Deontay, reuniting the trio from back in his college days. He got the fans involved, constantly posting stuff on social media about how the trio could reunite, and it created a wave, man. People were excited. Miami decided, what the hell, we can try it out, you know? They offered Deontay a 10-day contract, basically long enough for him to come in and play week 4 of the preseason. Cornerback wasn't Miami's biggest concern, but impressed with his dedication to the game, there was a hope amongst the organization that Deontay could eventually rise and regain his past form. So here we are. Former Defensive Player of the Year, Deontay Rose, now finds himself fighting for a roster spot. One game, that's all he had. Could he prove that he's still CB1?
And as fate would have it, Deontay Rose would be taking on his former team in that preseason game. So now finally grasping the reality of the situation. What does Deontay look like? Well, that's what he looks like, but what does he look like attribute-wise? Deontay Rose now has 91 speed, 93 excel, and 90 agility. The injury was quite severe, but over the past few months of recuperation, he is still somewhat adequate at what he does. Unfortunately, setting this up behind the screens was really difficult, so not everything is exactly how it is in the current NFL. This is its own universe, keep in mind. The Dolphins did go ahead and pick up Richard Sherman at cornerback, and they have Xavier Howard, so that might just be the most destructive, crazy cornerback trio in the NFL. On top of that, of course, we have our star quarterback, our college teammate, Alan Jackson. He's got bazooka, lofting deadeye, anchored extender, and clutch. And he now finally has a #1 receiver to throw that ball to. Now, I am looking to lower the minutes when we get to the regular season, but because this is the preseason and I don't feel like we're going to play a lot of ball today, I'm going to keep it on 13. Oh my goodness, look at that. 3 X-Factor cornerbacks. I could not have set this up any better. Deontay Rose, proving he deserves a second chance and a spot in the NFL. Trying to intercept the quarterback he went to a Super Bowl with. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are hyped for another episode of CB1 and you want to see more collabs in the future, again, thanks for Flemlo for coming out. Do not forget to leave a like on this video, man. CB1 is back and I need you guys to show that love. If you are new around here and you enjoy Madden 20 content as well as NCAA 14 Dynasty, then this is the channel for you. Do not forget to subscribe. With that being said, fellas, let's jump into it. And wouldn't you have it, it's a rain game. Is that Russell Wilson? I think it is. This is the preseason, keep in mind. Oh, first play is going to go for a loss, and DK Metcalf is injured. Going to be a run play. He's not going anywhere. One-on-one coverage, 3rd and 11. The Dolphins are going to strike first. They're not going to run it. Oh, crap, I'm getting burnt. That's a missile. He caught that? Looks like Seattle will be fine without us in the future. Okay, I get absolutely dominated on that block. I mean, they're obviously going to run it. Let's get out of zone coverage. And they're going to drive straight into the end zone. Not a promising drive for Deontay starting out. Wasn't thrown to, but didn't really impact the game at all either. Let's see what our offense is doing though. Alan Jackson to Javon Tate. We're fighting back. We need to be seeing a whole lot of this. Alan Jackson to Javon Tate over and over again. Come on, mate. Just like the old days we're in the end zone. It looks like Seattle is really run heavy at the moment. Like, they don't want us getting any stats. Bro, coach keeps calling the same play over and over again. Can I just blitz myself? Here we go. Come on. Just like the old days. I cannot get off the block. We get the tackle on Chris Carson, though. Again, is this a tactic by Seattle? It just seems like even when they run it, it's to the other side. Ooh, good hit. No way, not that easy. Not on Deontay. Here we go. Okay, I got to get used to playing career mode again. I don't care if they're going to pass it on blitzing. Oh, I nearly sacked Russell. He was scared. That's a dot. Oh, come on, Deontay. We need to show out. They took us off, mate. Of course they would take us off. We got ragdolled out there. This is only a preseason game, but this is so epic. That very well might have been our last drive out on the field. I don't know if we get to play again. Rookie running backs are going for minus yards. Don't tell me that's it. Have we done enough, though, to impress Miami's front office? Guess it depends if we win the game or not. We didn't even win the game, mate. Looking at the stats, Alan Jackson really didn't do much. Josh Rosen threw an interception. Of course he would. Receiving end, Ray McLeod is here? Yo! Charles Clay. Where is Javon, though? 2 receptions, 38 yards. He made an impact. And on the defensive end, how come we didn't get to play as nowhere near as much as these guys? Mika Fitzpatrick had 10 tackles, 2 TFLs. Richard Sherman had 4 total tackles. Deontay Rose, 1 solo, 1 assisted, and 2 total. We did also get that pass deflection with that big hit. We were also all over the field when they tried to air it out. Even though we didn't make the tackle, we got kind of bitched. We were still there. Well, with that being said, fellas, that is going to wrap up the return game. I do apologize. I know it was a preseason game and played 1 quarter and 2 drives. But hopefully the storyline kind of filled this out. But that being said, fellas, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. If you made it this far into the video, you are the real MVP. Hope the rest of your day is awesome. And from me personally, I'm out. Peace.